What's up, guys? It's Packy from the house, and today we are going to go over Bart's four-step bowling approach and hopefully give him some tips to improve. So let's jump in.
And the first tip I'm going to give him is in a four-step approach, the first thing that you really want to do is make sure that you move the ball as that first step goes. So once his right foot starts to move, you're going to want to start that push away. And as we notice right here's the ball, he takes the step before and kind of at the very end of that step, he starts to move the ball instead of kind of along with that foot moving, the ball starting to be pushed away. So right there is when the ball starts to move. And I would like to see almost as if his right foot and the ball are attached like by a pole. So once that foot starts to move, the ball starts to be pushed away at the exact same time. Because as we notice when we go through his entire approach, the swing is pretty short and compact, and his timing is pretty late. So to get in a little better spot for that timing, I would say to start the push away a little sooner, almost if not exactly when that first foot moves, maybe just a hair after to get a little more comfortable spot at the line. The second thing I notice is that his steps are pretty compact because he's seen. I don't know exactly how tall he is, but he seems to be pretty tall. And as you can see here, his feet are ahead of the second dots. So part of that is he does take four steps, so he doesn't need to be as far back on the approach. But I would like to see, he looks pretty tall, so I would like to see him a little further back. That way his steps aren't so choppy and he can just, I think I've said it in previous videos, you can just walk like you're walking down the street instead of like walking like you're trying to bowl. If you can just take a normal stride, a normal step towards the line, I think that would make your game flow a little bit better. Your timing would become a little better. So, yeah, my second tip would be, maybe it's a comfortability thing, but I would say definitely start, at least behind that second set of dots if your toes are right on it or the middle of your feet are right on it. But I would say basically just take a step back and try and just walk at a normal pace rather than, taking all these shorter, choppier steps. Just, try and walk normal. So you see what I mean by these shorter, choppier steps is, his first step is basically right directly in front of his toe here. You see a little gap right here, maybe, a couple inches, but that's about it. And then your second step is maybe doesn't even clear that next foot. And then your third step again. So your feet are basically right on top of each other. So what you want to create is just a little better pace, a little more speed with your footwork. So that way you don't have to use so much muscle in the arm to throw the bowling ball. The speed and power of your game should come, I would say 90% or more from your legs. Instead of here, you probably got a 50-50 split, maybe even a little more towards the arms, where your arm does most of the work, and that can be very tiring, over the course of a 3-game league set, or if you go both tournaments, that can tire you out and create a lot of inconsistencies in shots. And then the next thing I would like to, so now, we're going to start to push the ball away right when that first step happens. We're going to stand behind this line right here. And then the last tip I would like to give you would be to try and use your legs more at the foul line. So create some sort of slide. I noticed here in your game that Bart's got almost a plant, maybe just a little bit of slide, which does create him to be pretty far back from the foul line. But I would like to see that knee bent a little more instead of, I see that left leg or that slide leg is pretty straight here, maybe a little bend. I would like to see you, sit down on it a little more where you see really great bowlers. If I was to point out someone who really used their legs a lot, I would point to someone like Rocio Restrepo. She gets really, really low at the line, and nobody needs to be that low, but that's just a really good example of someone who uses all of their legs, uses a ton of leverage to throw the ball instead of throwing it with their arms. So I would just like to see, a little more of a lunge position at the foul line to create a slide, take a little bit of pressure off of your knee, and just kind of sit back on the shot instead of throwing it with your arm. But Bart's got a great foundation here. It looks like he's the only one practicing in the center, which is pretty cool. But yeah, he's got a great foundation. He's got some good balance at the line. And I think all of this will help him use, less muscle in his arm and create a little more hook on the bowling ball. A little more consistency from one shot to the next instead of maybe at the end of the night, the shots start to go a little all over the place, or, he's pretty tired at the end of the day after the set's bowling. So all of this will help him use less muscle in his arm and help that swing free up a little bit. But yeah, Bart's got some great footwork and a great foundation to just make some of these adjustments to his game off of fairly easily. So
Thanks for watching. And if you want a video just like this one and possibly put it up on our YouTube channel, click the link in the description for a 50% off code for your bowling review.